Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, a local park cleans up its act. Priya Sridhar is live with details. Priya.
Ebony, just a few months ago, neighbors here were complaining about drugs, illegal activity, and graffiti, but now they say the park has been transformed. I'll have details straight ahead.
An ingenious plan to clean up coastal waterways. Details on what the Sea-Bin is doing for San Diego.
And local high school students are preparing for their first climate summit, what they're hoping to accomplish. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening. It's Friday, June 14th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. Tonight, an update on a City Heights mini park. The city imposed a curfew after neighbors complained about drug use and other criminal activity. Today, neighbors are celebrating its turnaround. KPBS reporter Priya Sridhar joins us now from the park. Hi, Priya.
Hey, Ebony, this is one of 5 parks in San Diego that has a city-imposed curfew. City Council voted unanimously to impose the curfew back in March, and it went into effect in May. Now the gates here at the City Heights Mini Park close at 9 p.m. and they don't reopen until 5 a.m. every day.
Residents of an affordable housing complex for seniors gathered in the City Heights Mini Park today to celebrate the unveiling of the newly cleaned up park and the month anniversary of a city-imposed curfew.
Oh, it was terrible before. Bad drug use, people having sex out in the open in front of everybody, drug deals, fights. Now, quiet as it can be. They got a curfew here now. 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Residents of the complex complained to community leaders about illegal activity in the park at night. They say the park was full of graffiti, litter, drug and gang activity, and prostitution. Their efforts led to a curfew at the park. City officials say the curfew has helped police stop people from loitering in the park at night.
Police is here. It's just that sometimes you can't just run people out of a park if they're just sitting in a park, you know. So it helps the police department do their enforcement by having a curfew, and now they can come on and say, hey, park is closed, you know, move on.
Karen Murphy, another neighbor, says she now feels safe to hang out at the park with her friends.
We don't have gang members hanging out here claiming it's their territory anymore, and nobody's abusing us, throwing things at us or, you know, degrading us. And it's a breath of fresh air for us. We come out here and we read our books and have chats and talk and socialize, and it's just what we need as seniors.
Now, the city plans to hold activities in this park during the summer months like yoga, low-impact aerobics, crafts, and bingo. Reporting from City Heights, Priya Sridhar, KPBS News.
Thanks, Priya. Microfibers and microplastics are a major concern in oceans across the globe and in our coastal waters. KPBS reporter John Carroll shows us a small invention tackling the problem.
They're sad scenes we've become all too familiar with. And there's plenty in the news these days about cleaning up all that trash out in the ocean. But the Sea-Bin is different. It's meant for inlets, coastal waterways like harbors, ports, and marinas. The two here at Cabrillo Isle Marina were the first Sea-Bins in the United States.
We can stop the plastics close to the source of entry, and we can stop the plastics from getting to the ocean. So that was one of the main goals, was to get it before it gets to the ocean.
As a lifelong surfer, Pete Zaglinski spends a lot of time in the water. Several years ago, he and a friend got the idea of a trash collecting device that would clean the relatively still waters of ports, marinas, and harbors. Now there are about 720 Sea-Bins in more than 40 countries around the world.
Between the 720 units, every day we're collecting around 2.2 tons of litter, and you know, if you times that by 365, it starts to really add up.
The Sea-Bin works just like the filter in a swimming pool. The container that sits in that metal casing has a natural fiber bag in it. It sucks in water and debris, captures it, then flushes the clean water out the bottom. It's emptied once or twice a day.
A lot of small plastics, microplastics, the bigger stuff.
And the sea bin is remarkably efficient at capturing oil. It sticks to that white disc you see floating in the basket.
We're proud to have them here, proud that it keeps our water clean and our members appreciate it.
Cabrillo Isle Marina General Manager Debbie Davis says before they got their 2 sea bins, the water was constantly filled with oil and other muck. Now, she says, you can see the rocks below the surface. Each sea bin costs about $5,000, and there will soon be more of them in California. Siglinski is about to take a road trip, bringing sea bins to harbors in L.A., Ventura, and San Francisco. Then he'll set off for Hawaii, where he'll install several sea bins in the coastal waters of Honolulu. A simple idea, making a big difference. John Carroll, KPBS News.
There are currently talks to possibly put more sea bins in our coastal waters. Dozens of San Diego high school students will gather tomorrow for the region's first Youth Climate Action Summit. 17-year-old Aisha Wallace Palomares helped put the event together. She says she wants to energize young people so they will encourage policymakers to take action.
I go to my city council meetings. I started having a relationship with my council members to just show them how much of a vested interest I have in this issue so that they then know that their constituents care about it and that they need to take action on it.
Upgrades for some of San Diego's biggest attractions are included in the state budget. Millions of dollars are being allocated towards fixing the city's cultural and artistic destinations. It's part of a recently approved state budget, which dedicated more than $17 million to San Diego projects. Balboa Park's Botanical Gardens is just one of many institutions being revamped. We spoke to State Senator Tony Atkins about the plans.
Balboa Park is one of the most well-known, historic, iconic parks in the world, I would say, definitely in the country. And the Botanical Building is one of the 4 original buildings built when Balboa Park was established. And it is not just one of those soulful things that we love about San Diego. It's an economic engine. Millions of people visit Balboa Park. And now we're going to be able to preserve that building.
The $200 billion budget was approved by California lawmakers on Thursday. TGIF. It was a sunny seasonal end to the work week, and now let's check on our weekend weather forecast with meteorologist Dajia Swad.
We've been noticing that onshore flow all day, and in fact, we saw some wind gusts upwards to 45 miles per hour, especially out to the mountains. Now tonight, that westerly onshore wind continues to bring clouds into San Diego with a low of 63, dropping down to 61 in Oceanside and a low of 71 in Borrego Springs. Just not as cloudy in Borrego Springs nor Mount Laguna, where we'll be looking at an overnight low at 56. Now for your Saturday, heat continues to pump through the deserts into Vegas and Phoenix. Even into our deserts, going to be looking at some highs in the triple digits, but we get that cool flow near the coast. And that's where it's going to be more comfortable if you're not a fan of the heat. 71 for tomorrow's high in Oceanside, upper 60s here in San Diego. And if you're into Borrego Springs, a high of 105. We'll be topping off at 74 for Mount Laguna. Lots of sunshine, so grab the sunglasses. Into your early week forecast, heat still holding on, especially in the desert areas. But notice, for the rest of the country, it's pretty unsettled. For the West Coast, remain pretty dry, but thunderstorms and even chance for some heavy rain extending along a boundary that reaches portions of the Northeast back into the Rockies. We're in the dry zone, so no need to worry about grabbing for the umbrella. Just some low clouds for tonight at the coast. We'll continue to see those low clouds in the morning. That's going to be the trend here, and then breaking with sunshine as we head into your Saturday afternoon as well as Sunday afternoon. So Father's Day not looking too terrible. You'll be looking at those low clouds trending into your Monday as well. As we head into the inland areas, highs in the upper 70s. Through much of your extended forecast, notice we get more sunshine as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday, a high of 80. And if you're in the deserts or plan to go there, We're in the triple digits to start the weekend. Lots of sunshine Monday with a high of 99, then back into the triple digits Tuesday and Wednesday. Plenty of sun even into the mountains. We'll be topping off in the low 70s for Father's Day and your Monday, but not talking about any precipitation coming your way. Reporting for KPBS News, I'm your meteorologist, Dajia Swad. Back to you.
A warning about this next story, which might not be appropriate for all audiences. A new show debuts at San Diego International Fringe tonight at Les Girls. It features Irish dancers, a sex worker, Kate McGrew. KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando interviews Lady Grew about her show, An Even Sweeter Pang.
When I tell people that Les Girls is a venue for San Diego International Fringe, they usually get a little uncomfortable or snicker in response. That doesn't surprise strip club owner Kata Pierce Morgan.
I think they're expecting to see a Les Girls show, and they're certainly welcome to stay for the 9 o'clock show. But we're doing a show with a plot, with a cast of different characters.
In fact, there are 2 shows that are part of Fringe being staged at Les Girls. Pierce Morgan's Heaven or Hell 2, Journey of Memory, and Kate McGrew's An Even Sweeter Pang.
I love sex and my man more than I love his bloodline.
So as I sing, rap, pole dance, clown, all of that will be in there. I'm always singing and rapping and clowning about sex work and female body autonomy and body autonomy in general.
When she first came in 2014 and performed Sweet Pang, my husband and I welcomed her into our home. There's a lot of nostalgia for me, and I invited Kate to come back and do Sweet Pang.
I was working for Greenpeace in New York City. It was hard. I had dog poo thrown at my feet. I was told I should be raped. I said, I need to find less degrading work. I think I will try prostitution.
This year, I'm bringing the show back in honor of Jim Morgan, as activists for sex worker rights and for body autonomy and free expression. I exist in a long lineage of activists doing this work. And Jim fought and battled creatively and bravely to open Les Girls as a first nude club. And himself and his beautiful, smart, brave wife, Kata, whose show is before mine, Kata continues to do this fight against police corruption and for the fight for sex worker rights and for freedom of expression and body autonomy.
And Kate is courageous in that she takes on the fight for the sex workers. And here in San Diego, we're a military town. We are so conservative. I mean, I can remember when they would arrest dancers just for a look on their face. Just for looking sultry. We're right next to the Rock Church. I mean, they tried to intimidate me into selling the property, and I thought, no, in your dreams, that's not going to happen. I don't like to be intimidated, and I don't like hypocrisy. I don't like the fact that people are presenting one face to society, and then they're doing something else, that wouldn't be approved of. In another arena. And so that's what my shows are about, dealing with sex, standing up to the good old boys and the code of silence. Welcome, Kate. We're so happy to have you here.
I'm so glad to be back at Les Girls. I really am. Like I said, to be part of this story, this lineage that is historic and so inspiring. I mean, we're all in this struggle together. We're all in this celebration together. We have to celebrate our wins, and our victories, no matter how small they are, and we continue together, I am touching on some really serious issues, but I find that if we can talk about it in a way that makes people laugh, or where they can, relax into a song or get up and dance, it kind of, relaxes people's minds where they might otherwise have had barriers, and they might be more flexible in their thinking and let some of the messaging in for more consideration, So this is why I do this. It's activism to me. Yeah, what's great about Fringe is that it's really a space where people can throw something and see what sticks, you know. It's much more experimental. People are in that mindset to see stuff where people are trying something out and where people are really pushing the boundaries and encouraging people to think in different ways. So it's fantastic, and especially someplace like Les Girls, that's, you know, the setting of a place that is also a strip club. Walking in has a certain frisson from the get-go. So come on in.
And maybe change some of those preconceptions you might have about what's going on at Les Girls. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
And for more information about this weekend's performances at Fringe, go to sdfringe.org. And that's not all that's happening this weekend. There's also a hip-hop summit for teens that will connect aspiring entertainers with mentors. KPBS reporter Max Rivlin-Nadler previews an annual event that aims to help teens get ahead in music and beyond.
They come right here to where we're standing right now.
Armand King grew up in southeast San Diego, never visiting the campus of nearby San Diego State University. But standing on the university quad where the 4th annual San Diego Youth Hip Hop and Leadership Summit will be held on Saturday, King, who co-founded the summit, explained how its aim is to connect teenagers to more than just music.
Like a lot of times with us, we grow up in the neighborhood that's 5 minutes away from here, and we never even believe that we can go to a college, go to a university. So we physically bring them here to see it, feel it, smell it, taste it.
The free event, which is exclusively for teenagers ages 12 to 17, will feature opportunities for teenagers to meet local entertainment professionals as well as take part in a songwriting competition with a cash prize. The aspirational messaging of the summit resonated with Andre Weir, a 2-time songwriting contest winner who's volunteering at this year's event.
The message that the Hip Hop Summit is selling is just, you know, be you and like chase your dreams, because like what he was saying, rappers like do not understand how much of an influence that they have. So here we're trying to show that there's a positive influence in hip hop.
The summit kicks off on Saturday at 11 a.m. at the SDSU Student Union.
I'm a king, high rep from the West. Call me a boss because I'm writing the checks on KPBS.
Max Rivlin-Nadler, KPBS News.
They don't even know. Had to go spit up on flow, and I had to go do it for bros. I'm bringing it home. Had to go give me the money.
You can find out more information on the event at kpbs.org. A former San Diego State Aztec just added another NBA championship to his resume. Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors beat the Golden State Warriors last night. Leonard was also named Finals MVP. Head coach Brian Dutcher was an assistant when Leonard was with the team. Today, he talked about his success and how he still trains in San Diego.
Just overjoyed for Kawhi because I know all the work he put into it. You know, sometimes success finds the hardest worker, and I think that's the case what happened last night. Kawhi's an extremely hard worker. I see it myself over here in our practice facility, the Jam Center, every summer. And to see him rewarded for all that hard work is just very gratifying as a coach to see that it's rewarded.
This is the second NBA championship for Leonard. He was a player for the San Antonio Spurs when they won in 2014. San Diego will be a test market for Uber's drone delivery service. The company announced this week that tests will begin this summer. San Diego is one of 10 cities granted FAA approval for these drone deliveries. We're joined now by George Belch from SDSU's Fowler College of Business for this week's Friday Business Report. Welcome.
Thank you.
So what do we know about this drone technology?
Well, this is a part of the long-term plans of Uber, basically. I think when we think about Uber, we think of them as primarily competing in the ride-sharing taxi industry, but really they're in the mobility industry, and they have a long-term vision of transporting things, transporting people, even really having an air taxi service, which is on their plans in the next 5 years or so. Uber is going to partner with McDonald's initially. They're going to be delivering food, McDonald's products, not directly to your home, but rather to safe landing zones in your area, or possibly to a Uber vehicle that will have a special QR code logged in, and then the courier or the Uber driver will make the final delivery actually to your home. But I think you have to look at this as a long-term play, really. I think Uber envisions a future where this is going to become a big business. There may be commercial kitchens where you will have a number of companies, not just the McDonald's, but other restaurants cooking food for delivery. The Uber drones will be, and others perhaps, will be lined up. They'll go there, they'll get the food, and then they will deliver it.
So the future is now in San Diego this summer. So moving on to some good news for San Diego State University and possibly all of Canada. Former SDSU Aztec Kawhi Leonard is now an NBA champion after winning the finals with his team, the Toronto Raptors. But he's also making headlines for another reason, because he's suing Nike. What can you tell us about this lawsuit?
First of all, congratulations to Kawhi Leonard, not only leading to the Raptors to the NBA championship, but for the second time being the MVP of the NBA Finals. He's the only player that's done it with, one of three that's done it with different teams. So clearly great for him. But Kawhi has another issue going on here. He created a personal brand logo back in 2011. He was dabbling in graphic design, and he wanted to create one. One of his trademarks is his very big hand, so he kind of created two handprints with his number in between. And he, in the lawsuit, is arguing that in 2017, he was under contract to Nike at the time, and Nike went out and trademarked it. And according to him, they did it without his permission. Recently, Kawhi left Nike as an endorser. He's moved on to New Balance. He wanted to take his personal brand identity with him, and Nike basically has said, no, we own it. What we're seeing here is a trend. A lot of athletes are creating their own brand identity. When we think of athletes as brands, we often associate them with a Nike, with an Under Armour, or a New Balance. But now what they're trying to do is create their own identity. They have in a sense, a short window of opportunity to capitalize on their brand identity. Let's say they get hurt. We had two players hurt this week in the NBA Finals. Your career could be over, but they want to be a brand moving forward. And Kawhi Leonard wants to use his trademark, his logo on shoes and apparel, hats and everything after he's done playing basketball.
So a lot riding on this logo. Now moving on finally to another story which involves a major merger in the defense industry. Can you tell me how might this merger impact defense companies with ties to San Diego?
Well, we have another big mega merger going on here with United Technologies and Raytheon. Raytheon they're based in Massachusetts, but they do have a lot of operations here in San Diego. There's several things that could happen from a San Diego perspective. One is you're going to get a almost $80 billion company with an $8 billion R&D budget and employing 60 or 70,000 engineers. But there's also the issue, when you have mergers and acquisitions, sometimes you look for cost savings. And the question here is, what overlap might there be? A lot of the analysts don't really feel there's that much overlap. You're going to have a big conglomerate. You're going to have Tomahawk missiles, and you're going to have Pratt & Whitney engines, and you're going to have artificial intelligence products, hypersonic missiles, and aviation products, all coming from Raytheon. The question really is, how do they consolidate the two companies? That's what's going to probably have the most impact on San Diego.
So we'll keep monitoring that story there, and that wraps up our Friday Business Report. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
A major development in Duncan Hunter's corruption case, the changing mission for troops at the border, and how SDSU failed to award millions of dollars in available scholarship money. Join us for the KPBS Roundtable tonight at 8:30.
I'm Judy Woodruff. Tonight on the NewsHour, what is Iran's strategy as tensions escalate with the U.S. in the Persian Gulf? Coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
The Tick is back on Amazon. Cartoonist Ben Edlund has worked on and overseen every single one of these Tick iterations over the past 30 years, a rarity in the massive superhero business. Marketplace host Kai Risdal visited the cartoonist in his Echo Park home.
I'm Ben Edlund, creator of The Tick. We're in my office, house, creative space. That's an original Ripley's.
Believe it or not thing?
Believe it or not.
It's random there's like baby doll heads and skulls and...
Yeah, I'm obsessed with skulls.
Are you?
You know, there's a lot of grotesque in what I like. as is evident probably. But so this is actually a mass-produced Halloween costume version of the Peter Serafinowicz mask. I'm thrilled at how good it is.
I saw an interview with you where you said the costume that you guys have finally come to with this show, you said it's a work of art.
The first and second iterations have been moving closer and closer to what I've wanted to see. And this one really is how I would have drawn it, or did draw it, as a form.
So are you an artist or are you an entrepreneur? Because you can do this till the cows come home and create these things, but if you can't get them out there so people see them and eventually you make money, what good is it?
Right. Before I understood art, I understood I wanted to sell things. Like it took about 15 years of craft building on other like really extraordinary creators' shows. It's been quite a ride for this character. It's been unusual to be central to each one of its expressions. Superheroes overtaking our culture is packed with meaning, and it has layers of depth and encoding that I challenge people to decode, because it's actually obsessively packed with meaning.
You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.